What's going on, everybody? Welcome
Hey.
back to the Pace Studio here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We are broadcasting to you live, as always, from the Manhattan Center here on 34th Street, and we are here with a very special crew of guys. This is Casey Neill and the Norway Rats.
Hey.
What's going on, guys?
All right.
Welcome to New York.
Thank you.
Just in from Norway, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Norway, Oregon.
Norway,
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The other Norway.
Yeah.
Right. So these guys, there's a new record out. It's your third album. It's called Subterrane. It came out on March 23rd, and we're really excited to hear a bunch of new songs from this new record. I'm really interested in this album, sort of how it came together when it did. But let's start it off with a song first. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to open up with.
We're going to start with a song called Savages, which is actually kind of set here in New York, and it's kind of about looking back on events a few years after they happen. Veselka makes an appearance, the great Lower East Side eatery. Here it is, Savages.
Cool.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I left the party years ago, the perfect tragedy. right.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to ask about this new record. The record is called Subterrane. Came out March 23rd. March 23. And it's the first one in 5 years.
Yeah.
Last one was All You Pretty Vagrants?
Vandals.
Vandals. That's
Yes.
right. Sorry. I had that wrong in my head. Vagrants, Vandals. It's, they're
Yeah.
sort of synonyms in a way.
Yeah.
Vagrants, Vandals.
I put out a record once called Riff Raff.
Yeah.
And so I figure, ruffians. I mean, we can just keep
Yeah.
titling them. I think
Right.
Subterrane's a little different, I guess.
Well, yeah, so I was going to ask, I know that this record, it has sort of a through line to it. There's a bit of a story arc involved. The one that I was reading about that came up as I was looking at it was like it's a dystopian romance, which, as I was thinking about those words, sounds like sort of something beautiful and hopeful in the midst of something horrific and terrible. And that maybe, struck me as an immediate possible metaphor. I don't know.
For where we are.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, there's that thing about you want to go through the world and embrace change and how things are, and then some days I feel that way, and then some days I feel like I'm going to be sitting in a self-driving car wearing a virtual reality headset, talking to someone who's not talking to a robot, ordering things from the only retailer left on Bitcoin, and that's just going to be life, and we'll all, having other conversations with other robots, arguing with them on social media, and never having a conversation with a human being again.
Yeah. So what happens on other days?
On other days, I feel like I'm around my family and my friends, and we play music for people, and you have all those great interactions in life, hopefully, and I feel hopeful and about the world and about people's ability to rise above situations, and so there's all of that is built into songs. It kind of starts with some more of the youth and romance at the beginning, the first few songs on the album. Then it gets dark and dystopian and paranoid for a while, and then it gets to the kind of perspective and hope again at the end. So.
Yeah. And then tell me, as a songwriter, I mean, are these themes that sort of have always been coursing through your brain, or in the last, couple, 3, however many years, it has really kind of like exploded in new ways for you creatively?
I feel like I wrote about some of these things when I first started as a songwriter, and then, got distracted by relationships and I living in the West, like tend to have a lot of songs that tell stories about, rural life, urban life in the West, and I've written a lot of songs about New York too, because I lived here at various points in my life. But definitely where this feels like a place I'd been before. But after writing songs for a long time, I feel like I'm getting it a little bit better now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing, the evolution of it and how the songs come together. And this one was really. I was reading a lot of sci-fi novels at the time. Ursula Le Guin, great Oregon writer, who just passed away, and her writing really profoundly affected some of the songs, as did a journalist who lived here in town, Matt Power, who passed away. He was a friend of mine, and I reread all of his writing, and he wrote all about places all around the world, and he wrote a lot about just different countries, South America, Africa, and Asia. And then I was also traveling and touring in Japan a lot, and kind of the great, so many dystopian imagined worlds like Blade Runner or something are set in the like video screen onslaught that is a place like Tokyo or Hong Kong, and so that affected it also. And
did you feel as you were making your way around the world, I was reading about that as well, as you were on tour with various groups, the perspective back onto America and how that might have changed and maybe altered the way that these songs came out of you in a way that maybe they didn't before. As when you're in Tokyo and you're looking back at the news coming out of America, does it alter your perception of America and writing songs there, being an American artist?
Yeah, I think it really, just being anywhere overseas, you have that feeling of when you see what life is like at home, or you see the politics or something like that. You realize like, okay, we're not the center of the world. That there are things going on here. People only marginally care about what's happening here. Yeah. Things like this are happening in other places.
Yeah.
and those countries have sometimes gotten through them, sometimes been taken down by them, and it's just. But I definitely have also come to value my life at home and my life in music, and I think the further you can get outside of your world, the more you see back into it with perspective.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So we're going to do a couple more songs with Casey Neill and the Norway Rats. These are all songs from the new record, which is Subterrene. Tell me a little bit about this next one.
This next one's called Darken Down. Yep. And it's a night driving song, and it kind of tries to evoke the Pacific Northwest. It's raining all night, raining all the time, slow drizzle. You're driving at night. There's a lot of fog on the road. There's kind of a Pacific Northwest noir, or sort of gothic Northwest thing that happens, and we tried to evoke that and put that into the song. So it's called Darken Down.
We have to talk about it more.
Okay.
It's that little Fox power.
Oh, yeah.
That thing went.
Power's going out on that thing.
All right.
All right. So I can say some more about it.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens in a log cabin. By the way, we have no electricity. Everything's on a generator.
Yeah.
Which
which is perfect for the song we're about to play, and that exact thing I'm talking about. It's kind of a Twin Peaks kind of thing.
This is what always happens. One more try.
One more try. Should we do the other song? Huh?
It's not happening. Hold on.
I feel like it's like getting like a lawnmower to start.
Yeah.
Just like ripping at the cord over and over again.
There we go.
All right.
Yep.
Hold tight.
Darken Down.
Two.
Driving home in the black night, oncoming headlights cut through the 3 a.m. dark. Words on the wavelength, static signal strength on a distant highway. Preacher never shuts up, the DJ's locked up, vision fades into the headlights. Little towns glimmer, sleep and they shimmer, closing the endless distance. Darken down. Lunatic world spins round, darken down. Darken down. The lunatic world spins round, darken down. The lunatic world spins. The lunatic world spins. I'm wide awake on the surface of the moon. I'm wide awake, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. The surface of the moon. I'm wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. On a 2-lane blacktop, can't drive fast enough. Can't drive fast enough. Parliament Centaurine, Jim Jarmusch scene, rest area 36 miles. Quieter than quiet, in my head a riot. Home waits like a blurry memory. Darken down. The lunatic world spins round, darken down, 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 darken down. Lunatic world spins round, darken down. Lunatic world spins, the lunatic world spins.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you were talking about before Darken Down, Portland being sort of a character in your music on this record, certainly. And you guys are obviously a Portland collective, members of various different bands, Eels, Decemberists, Priority, Amelia. There's a lot of going on in here, and that seems to be something that happens a lot in Portland.
Yeah.
Peter Buck, I know, was involved in this record, and Scott McCoy both play with you in the -5.
Yep.
They have their other random side bands,
Of which there are many.
Yeah. So I remember we had Filthy Friends in the studio some months ago, and I asked them something similar, which is like, how do you gather everything? Is there do you have a signal, like a rat signal that you send out, and it's like, all right, it's time, everyone come gather.
Yeah.
How does it work? Because they're like Eels has a record coming out this week, and Decemberists had a record come out just a few weeks ago. So people are busy, man. Like, how does this all work?
A lot of logistical wrangling. Yeah.
Magic.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 of you guys are actually holograms. People don't know.
That's right. Jenny Conley is in this band quite often, and she's out with Decemberists now and worked on the record.
I'm leaving in a month.
Yeah.
To do another tour.
Yep, Chet's off in a month. But so actually, we're sort of doing this run of shows now around the release of the album for the next few weeks, and then in the fall we'll do a whole nother round of it when everyone's kind of home from the tours. We try and find the windows, and it takes some doing, but.
Yeah. And so, you have a record, you're writing a lot of these songs. You have a record in mind, and it seems like it's time to make a record. There are things to be said you want to say. There's music you want to make. Do you just say, all right, everyone just meet at my house, and here we go? It's probably not quite that easy, but if, there's record needs to be made now, or you want it to be made now. I mean, could you have done this in 2020? Or, this record has to come out in 2018, We
actually took our time with this. Part of it was all of us were doing other things. I was on the road in Japan with the band Big Bridges that I was in for a while, and but Chet and I actually we co-wrote all the songs, and we kind of took our time with them. We didn't. We'd work for a few hours a day, 2-3 times a week, and then maybe we would not work on it for a month and kind of contemplate it and think about what to do with it. And that's previous albums we'd always made by kind of recording the band live, adding some things and some overdubs and some guests, and doing what needed to be done after that, and there was the record. And this time we kind of really considered a lot of it and built the parts.
I did the last of the guitar overdubs in a hotel room in Montana while I was on tour with the Jayhawks.
Right, as one will, right?
Yeah.
So this was like a new. So a lot of these songs. When did you write these songs primarily?
Probably 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then here we are. There's 2016, and then there's 2017, and there's a bit of a detour for the whole world, kind of, and a lot of the art in it. Was there any sense of like, these songs, maybe, they have a new meaning or a different meaning or something you didn't intend or see?
Definitely. I mean, I think whenever you're looking into, there are a few songs on this that look into the darkness or stare it down a little bit and talk about that part of human nature. And as that has come out more in our public life, suddenly that has a resonance. That there's a song on the album called "Murderers Show Mercy," which we're not going to play. We're going to play one of the hopeful ones, but that's very much about that and about we're all. Most people are good people. Occasionally we mess up, but there are a lot of very bad people who then decide to do some good things. Mm-hmm. and maybe sort of pay for redemption by doing it. So that was sort of the idea behind this one song. There's a song called "Moving Through the Trees" that's almost like a horror film. I think I wrote it after watching True Detective season 1 or something. Wanted some like thing like that. So they're things that are and I think unfortunately that part of human nature is at the forefront a little bit, and we all have to work to tamp it back down.
Yeah.
I guess would be the gentle way of saying it.
When we started making the record too, we didn't really have it in a real complete concept in mind, just a lot of songs, and we realized as it came together, especially near the end, that we had really written almost kind of a concept album or a score to the present.
Yeah, even the present now, not so much even 3 years ago.
Exactly, yeah.
It's sort of amazing how that can happen.
Yeah.
A lot of artists that we have in the studio sort of say, they write what they write, and then they realize sort of down the road as it all comes together that there was something kind of going on there all along that they didn't see until the very end.
Yeah, something dark.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think when you're addressing, musicians have this, you're evoking emotions out of people, and this is also a very emotional time. So there are a lot of amazing, beautiful things happening in response to all this. And so just everything sort of seems to have more resonance. I get that way when I listen to other people's records, and I think it's affecting art in a lot of ways that's inspiring and interesting.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do one more song from Subterrene. It's a new record by Casey Neill and the Norway Rats. Tell me a little bit about this last one.
This last song is called "In the Swim," and it's kind of one of the hopeful ones at the end of the record. And there's a song that Scott McCoy wrote some lyrics to and sings back up on, and Peter Buck plays on it, and it's
Peter Buck's Magic 12-string.
His Magic 12-string, the Magic Rick. So yeah, we'll finish up with this song and finish up on a hopeful note. Yeah, as the record does. So.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Swim, the ocean takes you in. Oh, how it surrounds you in the swim. The broad majestic, let the current carry you. And if I lose myself, come find me. And if I stray off course, remind me of the truth of love. It breaks like waves in the swim. Glimmer on the shoreline, the glow of dying stars in the swim. Wave goodbye to the captain, he'll steer you from afar. And if I lose my
Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. So Casey Neill and the Norway Rats, fresh in from Norway, Oregon. And the new album is called Subterrane. It came out March 23rd. We just heard 3 songs from that. If you want to check these guys out live, they have a show tomorrow night here in New York City at the Bowery Electric downtown. More dates at caseyneil.org.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Boston on Wednesday.
Boston on Wednesday,
Yep.
and on down the coast, or up the coast, I guess
That's the end of the Northeast states, and then we do the West Coast.
and then the West Coast.
Yeah.
So all the dates are there, as well as some videos and all the information that you want on these guys. So definitely check that out and pick up Subterrane. Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
For
for
coming to
having us.
Pace, playing in our log cabin for us today. We were trying to approximate a little of the Pacific Northwest for you, so now we got to break this whole thing down
Yeah.
and put it back together the way it was before. So thanks for that, and please come back and play again anytime when you're back through the city. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.